Hi, I'm Lisa. You're watching The Backward Glance. Today is the 11th of September 2019, and this is going to be another What Sold Quickly on eBay video. Just wanted to make a note that I did post a video yesterday that was just showcasing jewelry sales. I'm going to be separating my jewelry sales from everything else because I just feel like there is a gap on YouTube of people just sharing what sold for jewelry on eBay. A lot of people talk about Poshmark and things like that, but that's a totally different market. So I thought maybe it would be helpful to just put all my jewelry sales in one place. So this video is going to be a lot of clothing, and I have one random hard good in here, and these will just be my mix of everything non-jewelry related going forward. So let's get into it. I have 10 items, and then I also have 2 bonus items at the end. This first item is a Joseph Ribkoff dress. I do really like to find this brand. Here's the tag if you've never come across this before. This brand is made in Canada. It is generally just like 100% polyester clothing, but for some reason it does have a great following. I paid $4.25 for this dress and sold it for my full asking price of $46, and it took 3 days to sell. Next, I found these Michael Kors flip-flops, and I did look them up since it was right at the end of summer. I kind of debated buying them, but they had a really good sell-through rate. They were not getting high prices, but I did figure there was a chance that they would sell pretty quick. So I paid $4.25 for these and sold them for a best offer of $15 in 17 days, and I was really glad to know that I wasn't going to have to store them until next summer. Here's a brand that I was not familiar with. It's called the Original Car Shoe. So let me get the logo up here for you. So these are a driving loafer, and you can tell because of the nubs on the back if you're not aware of that. These are basically so that when your foot is on the pedal, those little nubs can rest on the ground. When I first looked these up, people had them listed as Prada, and it does turn out that these are made by the Prada group. I would not recommend putting Prada in your title. They are not the kind of super high-end shoe that you would expect from Prada, although they were clearly a well-made shoe. So I paid $6.30 for these and got my full asking price of $32, and they took 6 days to sell. Next is a Brighton belt, and this one was in pretty good condition. I found them in the past, and both the hardware and the leather were so worn out that I didn't want to pick them up for resale, so I was happy to find this. Here's the Brighton tag on there, and if you're not familiar with this brand, they also make handbags and jewelry. So I paid $3.15 for this belt and sold it for a best offer of $18.50. That took 14 days. I wouldn't be totally surprised to find that sometimes this brand worked in sterling silver on the buckles, so that's something to look out for too. I know that sometimes their jewelry is sterling. Next up is an item that you might remember if you've been watching my videos for a while. I sold these like maybe a month and a half ago, and unfortunately they didn't fit the buyer and they were returned. Such a bummer because they were my best sale that month, but sometimes that happens. So this is a pair of shoes by Meslin Platinum. Meslin on its own is definitely a hit or miss brand. They're very expensive new. They don't all have a great resale value, so if you find shoes just marked Meslin, I would definitely look them up by style to see if they're worth selling. The Platinum collection is the higher end, and these shoes retailed somewhere between $1,100 and $1,200, and that is because they are genuine alligator, as you can see marked on the bottom there. They did have a few minor condition issues. They had some damage to the scales, like on each side of the shoe, as you can see, and definitely some wear to the heels and soles, but a really beautiful pair of shoes. I originally paid $6.20 for these and I sold them this time through offers to watchers for $140, and they took 26 days to sell. This item was also in my last video, and that's because I got two of them, so the first one sold quick and the second one sold quick. But they both sold to the same buyer, so I could have saved him and I both some time and shipping by just doing a multi-quantity listing, which is actually what I thought I had done to begin with, but I guess that I hadn't. So after the first one sold, I went ahead and listed this one. I paid $4.25 for this and sent out offers to watchers for $20. It took just 1 day to sell. And there is the brand name there, Massini. If you didn't see my last video, I explained that basically there is a high-end ballet shoe that comes in these bags. Excuse me. So this is like a carrying case for ballet shoes. When I found the two that I found, nobody had just the bags listed, so I took a little bit of a risk and it paid off. I was really happy with the sale on those. Here's an item that my thrift store basically messed up on, and I took advantage of that. I used to always pick up Danskos, and then the thrift store started marking them at like $19.99 all the way up to $24.99. And almost always, if they're in good condition, which these were, they're $24.99, which in my opinion, they're not even worth picking up on half off day, so that's a little frustrating. This pair came out and they only had them marked at $5.99 plus tax, so somebody just messed up in the back. I scooped them up. I had $6.40 into them with tax, sold them through offers to watchers for $32, which took 10 days. And these were actually Dansko XP, and I have found that the XP has a little higher sell-through and commands a little bit higher of a price than a lot of just the standard Dansko clogs do. Next is a pair of Democracy jeans, and I actually haven't found any of these in a while. This is the style that I always look for in Democracy. It's called Ab Technology. In general, Democracy is not a high-end jean, and I don't think the retail price on it is actually very high, but this Ab Technology has a following. I wouldn't really recommend picking up other Democracy jeans unless you're getting them super cheap. I will actually pay up a little bit for these AbTech ones because they have sold quickly pretty much every time I've picked them up. This was a size 20, which is awesome, so a plus size. So I commanded a little higher price. I sold these for my full asking price of $28, and I paid $6.43 for them. That took 13 days. And just as a note, when I find these in like a regular size, non-plus size, I usually list them at about 24 and end up selling them for somewhere between 20 and 24. So these jeans don't command a high price, but if you get a good deal on them, I do feel like they're worth listing. Here's my random hard good for this video. This was a super cute little toy dish set. It is obviously meant to be Corning Wears Cornflower Blue, which does have a little bit of a following right now. I mean, the coffee pot that you see here in its actual version, full size, can do decent. I mean, nothing crazy, but it definitely has some collector's value. So I picked this up. Unfortunately, it did not say Corning anywhere on it. It was just like made in Hong Kong. But I knew that somebody would probably want to add it to their Corningware collection. I paid 80 cents for this. I originally listed it as an auction starting at 18. I got 5 watchers, but no bids. So that was 7 days of auction with no bids. So then I listed it as a buy it now for 24 and sold it 2 days later for a best offer of 20. So nothing crazy here, but 80 cents into 20 is pretty good, and I'm just really happy that somebody is going to get to enjoy this set. Alright, then we have a pair of Levi's. This is item number 10, and then we'll do our bonus items. So these were a Levi's 524 junior size 5 skinny jean, and I picked these up for $3.13. I sold them for a best offer of $17.50, and that took 20 days. And I know Levi's are kind of ubiquitous, but they can do really well. They don't generally sell for a ton of money, but if you are able to source where you're getting them for a great price, especially like if you're sourcing at the bins, don't ignore Levi's. I mean, they're like the classic brand of jean. People love them. Do make sure that the style is modern, that they are in good condition, and also that they're not Levi's signature. So as you can see on the tag here, this is just Levi's 524 skinny. If the tag says signature, that means it is the lower end of Levi's, and in my opinion is not really ever worth picking up. So here's our bonus items. The first one I wanted to share because I shared this in a haul and I was kind of debating whether I would return this item or sell it with a flaw. So this is a top by Citron Santa Monica. This brand is an excellent brand to find their silk tops in. Some of the different like motifs they have do really well, and one of the ones that does great is the sort of Asian geisha motif. So I found this and I was super bummed to find that there were two stains right on the face of the front woman, so a really prominent spot. I did do a stain treatment on these and I got them to be pretty faint. I mean, this isn't too bad. I would wear it in this condition. So I decided to go ahead and list it as an auction. I started the bidding at I believe $8 or $10 just to make sure that I would completely recoup my investment in this top after fees and everything. I did pay $4.20 for this, and it ended up getting 10 bids and going for $20.50. So that's great. I feel like it's in wearable condition. Also, maybe the buyer has some sort of secret to getting stains out of silk that they know how to do better than I do. Either way, they got a great deal, and I'm really happy that I ended up listing this instead of returning it. And my last bonus item for you today, if you've seen my videos, you know that sometimes I like to balance out my quick sales with showing you something that took forever to sell. So this dress by Kimchi Blue, which I believe is an Urban Outfitters brand, is something that I picked up within my first few months of reselling, and I thought it was really pretty. I actually still think it's a pretty dress. I think this like fit and flare style is kind of going out right now. But at any rate, I actually paid up for this when I got it at $6.49. I sold it for a best offer of $14, and this dress took 16 months to sell. So I just wanted to show you that like I said, to balance things out, I'm not always picking items that sell quickly, and that just happens. So thanks a lot for watching. Please feel free to leave a comment. You can also like, dislike, or subscribe, and thanks a lot for watching.